Can people change? This is part 2 of a 2-part series. Watch part 1 right here.
So now what I want to be able to move into is the one kind of service that we provide, which is called Renewed Mindset. Mm-hmm. And before I ask you a question, Rances, do you want to try to summarize what Renewed Mindset is for the audience so they kind of know?
Sure. Okay, so Renewed Mindset is taking our theory of change and putting it into an experience-based retreat. So what happens is that it's a weekend-long activity after activity where you're able to reflect on what's happening inside your body, inside your mind, and how it applies to the rest of your life. So what we see is that in that experience, people come up with and deal with things that they have had in their lives happen, and they're able to overcome them and create a complete transformation within that weekend.
So with that being said, Massiel, did that happen for you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you want to explain what your experience was? Just the weekend, the physical aspect of it.
Actually, I was just I'm going to read an entry from my journal because that I'll tell you exactly what it felt. I have it here. I said, I am physically drained, but mentally enlightened. That was the weekend for me. So Renewed Mindset. I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect going in. So we started the weekend. I'm going to say the first night I was in a lot of pain. It's not abuse, people. It's not. I promise. It's just a lot of physical activity. I woke up the next morning, and I said, why am I doing this? Like, what am I doing? I'm tired. It's 4:00 in the morning. Like, what am I doing? I said, you know what? Let's just go. I'm just going to go. Then when I saw what was next, I said, oh, hell no. I literally cried. I'm like, no. Then we went through the weekend. Fast forward to the last day, the last exercise. That was really enlightening to me. The last exercise, I'm actually going to read a little bit of I'm going to read the journal entry from that day, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I said, today was the end of the weekend journey of Renewed Mindset. It was a weekend filled with emotions. I was angry. I felt frustrated, defeated, hopeful, happy, sad. So many emotions. I broke down physically and mentally. The last exercise spoke about our beliefs of ourselves. And for the first time, I felt enough. I felt that in my heart. I felt that in my gut. I felt that in my soul. I showed up for myself and I fought for me and I succeeded. I'm physically drained, but mentally enlightened. I feel like a big weight was lifted off my shoulders. For the first time in my life, I feel safe on my own. And I'm like, wow, just thinking about that last exercise, defending me from me, I fought and I won. So the last exercise, can I?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
So in the last exercise, you are with a coach, and this coach, knowing a little bit of what they know about you, they tell you, you're not enough. They bring out all the insecurities that you might have or you might have expressed, and you have to stand up for yourself. It's so much easier to stand up for someone else. Like if you see some injustice, you're like, no, that's not. But to do that for yourself, it's so much harder. So the fact that I was able to say, no, this is not, I am enough. No, yes, I can do that. No, that's not right. Yes, I'm willing. So that last exercise for me, what I felt inside was just pure bliss. after I was done. I was like, wow, this was amazing. I am so proud of me. I also saw the transformation of, there was a little girl in my group. She was like 15, and Javier was the coach for us, but I kind of like took over that exercise for him. And I saw this little girl standing. She had a ponytail and she had like two little, like her hair. And I said, look in the mirror. What do you see? She's like shy. She's just standing there. Oh, you know. And I said, you're not pretty. Like I just went on her. I'm like, take your hair off your face. She was like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, take it off. Why? Because you can't look at yourself. She was like, her body language was just like this. And I went on her like, and then you could see the transformation of her. Like, no, I love my eyes. Look at my green eyes. I love my nose. It was, I standing back, seeing how she transformed from this like scared thing to like, no, like, yes, I am enough. I went through that too. So it was awesome to see it. Like as a third person, seeing another person go through that. So that exercise for me was just like the poof. Another one I'm going to say though, we had, before we went to that exercise, was the bath after that.
So the way that the curriculum is set up for the weekend is the bath is at the end of the first day.
The first day.
Yeah.
Because that was also a really awesome experience. We had a little session before we went into the bath, and you said the word surrender before we went out. And when it was my turn, you know, it's a cold bath. It's so freezing. Go in there. The only word in my head was surrender. And I said that word in my mind. Everything shut down. And I just sat there.
What do you mean by shut down?
I said surrender, and it was like somebody switched off in my head. There was no thoughts. Nobody was talking. A lot of people around me, I couldn't hear anything. It was bliss.
Like fully present.
Fully present. And I was there for, I think you have to be there for 2 minutes. I could have stayed there 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Just in peace. It was amazing. Amazing.
What do you think about like the physical aspect of the program itself? What do you believe the physical aspect has done for this mind transformation?
Well, I'm going to say I almost collapsed on our physical, one of the physical parts of it. I actually did collapse on Mo. I don't know if you remember. I was running and my legs just gave out and I just fell. I fell. If you didn't hold me, I was going to fall on the floor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So then everybody was like, watch Massiel because she's going to we're going to lose her. Mm-hmm. Man down. But I finished. So the physical aspect, what I saw from the whole thing is just when you're tired, when your body is tired, now your mind has to kick in, right? So your mind has to pick up the slack, pretty much. So it kind of goes hand in hand because your body can be fine and mentally you can be drained. So your mind drains your body, but it's not the other way around. So when your body is drained, you can still go because your mind can make you go. So I think that's the correlation. I don't know if that's really the idea behind that.
So here's another question regarding that. Do you think that like the level of transformation that you experience in the Renewed Mindset weekend, you think you could get that without the physical?
Absolutely not.
Why? Because
that night, the first night I woke up, my mind didn't do exercise. My body was in so much pain. I had to push myself to get up from bed. Like I was in Everything hurt. My nails hurt. Like I literally lost 2 toenails. But it's not that bad, I promise. But I did. So if I didn't go through that whole physical, those physical exercises, it wouldn't have, the fact that I pushed myself to get up, I wouldn't have to push myself to get up. So I think that shows, like, you have to push yourself. If you're that tired, if I wouldn't have been that tired, it wouldn't have been an issue to get up and go.
But why do you think a change happened? Like, for example, we were talking about earlier when we were doing coaching, right? A bunch of changes happened in your life. So why couldn't we get you go through those same changes that you went through renewed mindset just by talking?
Just by talking, because I think that the physical aspect of it, trying to think what I was feeling when I was like running, right? So I'm running and I'm tired. I want to stop, but I'm not stopping because no, I'm doing this for me. Like I'm doing this. I'm going to finish this. I committed to this. I'm going to finish this.
Okay. So if you don't know, then would you say that someone else can probably get a transformation in the level that you feel like you received in that renewed mindset retreat? Someone else can get a transformation without doing that physical hurt, that physical discomfort. Like you mentioned that you pushed yourself and you wanted, this is for me, and so on and so forth.
I see. I can see where you're coming from. So I guess it depends where you are in your life, right? So I didn't go through the physical to go through transformation. So I experienced change in my life without a physical breakdown, pretty much. I think what renewed mindset did for me was just finish breaking down everything else and just almost like gave me a clean slate to start, refreshed. That's what I felt even in my journals, like the days after Renew Mindset. I'm like, I feel free. I feel like awesome. So you don't have to go through the physical exercise to be able to experience change, because I experienced change without it. What Renewed Mindset did for me was just made me feel enlightened.
Renewed your mindset?
It renewed my mindset.
So I wanted to explain a little bit as to the idea behind it, because I know I was pressing you on that, but I wanted to give you kind of like the theory. So it ties.
Well, I wanted to ask a question prior to that would connect to that pretty well. So, Massiel, did you ever at any moment, and we can take this moment as well now, did you ever think about why we're doing the physical exercises? Like, did that ever come up for you? And what were your thoughts behind it?
No, I thought that the physical aspect of it was to kind of make your mind just push harder. So
you just trusted 2 random guys to just give you a bunch of beat you up and tell you, don't worry, you're going to fucking change.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Pretty
All
much.
right, Rances, so go ahead, explain a little bit about the theory, and then I'll add on to it.
So, originally when you talked about the initial session, right, where you got to feel what was happening in your body, you found that fear that was existing there. So the theory of change starts with physiology, right? For us, physiology is everything that's in your body, from your perspiration, respiration, heart rate, eye dilation. Everything that's happening is your nervous system sending signals up and down. right? To your brain and back down, your central nervous system to your peripheral nervous system. So the body is actually an extension of the brain. Now, when we suppress or repress emotions, they can be in our body, they can be in these experiences that we no longer feel because we've shut them down, put a layer of, if you imagine putting them in the attic, then you're not going to deal with it anymore. That's what we do with our bodies when we go through trauma, when we go through experiences, when we go through things, right? We don't want to deal with it. So we're able to continue that going on with our lives because all of that is stuffed away. It takes energy to keep it stuffed away. It takes physical energy because these are things, this is energy in your body that's running around, and we're actively working on not feeling it, right? So when we go into a physical experience, like renewed mindset, what happens is that we exhaust that physical body to the point where you no longer have the energy to repress. You no longer have the energy to ignore. It's there. You're also your defenses, everything that's holding that door shut falls apart. So it's all available to you now. So you're faced basically with the reality, the truth, your perspective. And when you do that, when you're faced with that, and in that situation where it's an environment that's meant to be safe, it's an environment that is meant to help guide you, now we equip you with the tools to be able to deal with that, to be able to put the pieces back together and have an understanding. And that's what you talk about, like that renewed mindset that you come out of it, that sense of bliss. That's where that comes from that clarity that the whole experience brings to you.
Clarity, that's a good word for that.
So this concept isn't new. This concept has existed for thousands of years, and the organizations that use it are the military. It's like boot camp, right? So when you go into boot camp, they send you to Hell Week, and then Hell Week is where they break you down physically to then give you the tools to introduce the beliefs that serve the military, right? So the concept here in renewed mindset is essentially the same thing. We don't give you the beliefs to serve Vita Project, right? It's the beliefs to serve yourself. Mm-hmm. So breaking down the physiology, so the shields are down, then we identify what beliefs aren't serving you, help you gain clarity on that, and say, here are some new tools to help you change that. And I think that's the common thing, and Rances, correct me if I'm wrong, if I say this wrong, the common thing that everybody says after they're done, and Massiel, if you can agree, if you align with it, is I feel like I'm capable of doing anything. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody says after renewed mindset.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I went through that. The next day, I was in so much pain still, and I had to go to work. I said, I just went through that. I can go through anything. I wrote it in my journal.
So I want to take a moment to test how well renewed mindset worked for you. So are there aspects of your life or things that you want to achieve that prior to renewed mindset you kind of wished or thought about, but now you're actively pursuing? And yes, explain why and how. And if no, why not?
So after renewed mindset, I was going through, you go through your periods of time that you're like in, it was like, I would say limbo, call it limbo. And reading actually through my journal because my memory is not that great. The following days after that, it was intentional. I was doing things with intention. I was doing insurance. I was not necessarily engaging the way I should have. That was probably my best open enrollment after renewed mindset.
What's open enrollment?
Open enrollment is usually when you do. I concentrate on Medicare. So October, November, December, you can switch insurance. It's for seniors. And I did Renewed Mindset because Renewed Mindset was October. So I did in the midst of starting that. And after Renewed Mindset was kind of the beginning of open enrollment. And it was just, I had an intention every day. And I can see the difference of that year open enrollment and the prior, and then even the year after.
So it directly affected the bottom line.
It directly affected the bottom line in a good way.
So what are you working on now, and what are you trying to achieve?
Right now, I am. Well, you never stop working on yourself because there's always wounds that you think you're over, right? We continue to grow and to heal. Right now, I'm actually working on what am I going to be working next. So that's something we actually have to talk about. Right now, I actually just got my license to do mortgages. So that's something that I'm going to get into now that my little one is going to college. So in my mind, the next 4 years are working, like focusing on work to then kind of set the future plans to kind of take it a little bit easier.
Okay. Massiel, can you summarize what your life looked like before and what it looks like now?
My life before life coaching was pure chaos. My life after life coaching is a life that has intention and purpose.
Chaos to intention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I kind of want to try this new thing where whenever we have a guest, we ask this like overarching question to kind of give people an idea of a clear definition of what mindset is, because the podcast is called Mindset You, right? So the question I kind of came up with right now, we'll go off it. What's the name of the mindset that you have right now? Like if you were to label your name, if you were going to label your mindset, what would be the name of your mindset and why?
So I would name it an aware mindset. Why? Because now I am able to sit and listen to where other people are coming from and what they have to say, not hearing and having an opinion. So now I give my opinion if they ask me for my opinion. So I'm able to sit and receive the information and just, accept that that's their perspective.
And then my last question is, what's one thing or one piece of knowledge that you would give to someone else to live a better life?
Don't take anything personal.
All right.
That's the name of the last exercise, a renewed mindset.
Don't take anything personal. And I my kids hate it when I do this, but can you believe that she said she was so rude? And I'm like, you don't know what she's going through. They hate when I do that. It's like, but this is what I'm feeling. Even with my coworkers, I do the same. I said, if you're getting angry because she's angry, you don't know if, something happened to her in the morning, she's in a bad mood. It's not about you. What happens, what they're saying, it's not about you. It's never about you. It's always about them. So I try to say that to people all the time.
Awesome. Rances, anything you want to add?
No, I think that's a great note to finish up on. But remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Vida Project. find us and follow us on Instagram. You can find Vida Project, or we also have a separate Instagram for Mindset U, the letter U. Then you can also find our actual podcasts, again, in any place you can listen to podcasts: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, any podcast source. We're there as Mindset U.
And if you are interested in learning more about Renewed Mindset or working with Rances or myself.
I was going to say just me.
I'm more of the operator now. I like it. I like the business side of it. But I do coach. I'm not as good as Rances, but
Yeah, right.
I'm being modest. You can visit vitaproject.com, learn more about our services, or you can reach out to Massiel if you want to get to know more.
Thank you, Massiel.
Thank you for having me.
Let's keep the work going.
I'm just going to say I'm like a life coach groupie. I talk to everyone about it. I swear. My people, this changed my life. I'm telling you.
We appreciate it. Mauricio came from her.
Yeah. Mauricio is another
Mauricio.
one, yeah.
He's going to be on.
He's going to be on. In a
Yeah?
couple, yeah.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah.
He's a
awesome.
good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Mauricio came to my office. He's a client, right? So we've done a couple of things. And I'm like, why are you here? What happened? He's like, oh. So he told me what happened. And he told me, he's like, I need to change. I got the solution for you. You really want to change? This is what you're going to do. And after he went, he told me, he's like, that was the best thing I did in my life. It turned my life around.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of success stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are.
Mm-hmm.
Mauricio had been coaching with Moises during that phase of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, he says he's not as good as me, but in reality, he believes he's better than me.
I'm laughing because it's true. No, I do think that I'm like we're pretty even on that playing field, and I do see it. I actually I steal a lot of his stuff, and then I just make it more efficient. All right, guys, thank you. Until next time.
Till next time.
Peace.
Jason here with Mindset U, and I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for tuning in and watching us every week. Since Mindset U is taking a different approach, we need your help coming up with new topics of stuff that you want to hear so that we can give you the best quality possible and the best content possible in general. It's fun. Come on, help us out. Help us help you. Anyway, you can head over to vitaproject.com to watch any of the old episodes, any of the new upcoming episodes that are coming. You could also check us out on Instagram and on YouTube and anywhere else that you could possibly think of that you want us to be. Let us know. We'll be there. All right? Thank you so much. I think we're on Twitter. I don't know. Hit us up everywhere. Call me. Here's my number, 201. I'm just kidding. Hate being on camera. Fuck you in the butt. I keep saying, guys. Fucking trick myself out in the streets. I think that's a good take. Listen to you little motherfuckers. And I'm gonna start over one more time, or else I'm gonna put my head in the oven. Before I was really interrupted by a lovely Dominican lady, and I'm doing everything in my power not to jump through this window right now because I hate talking in front of a camera. Take 15. Fuck you.